Here's a supply and demand problem where we have a tax and subsidy. Here we have the market demand and the market supply. The government subsidizes buyers $2 per unit. The government taxes sellers $4 per unit. What price do buyers pay in this market net of the subsidy and tax? What price do sellers receive in this market net of the subsidy and tax? First thing we'll recognize that when we have a tax or subsidy or a combination of a tax and subsidy, the net price paid by buyers, P subscript B, will be different than the net price received by sellers, P subscript S. So I'm making note of that in our market demand and market supply. Next thing is the net price that buyers are going to pay here is going to be the price minus the subsidy, where the subsidy we're told is $2. And the net price that sellers are going to receive or earn here, P subscript S, is going to equal the price minus the tax. In this case, we're told the tax is $4. So P subscript B equals P minus the subsidy. P subscript S, which sellers clear, is going to be P minus 4. So going back to our demand equation, we're going to substitute out this P subscript B for P minus 2. So making that substitution and simplifying, this is what our market demand now looks like. And doing a similar thing for market supply, here's our market supply. Let's substitute out this P subscript S with P minus the tax, which is $4. So making our substitution and then simplifying, we get this equation for market supply. So we're going to set quantity demanded equal to quantity supplied. So doing that, and now we're going to solve for P. Add P to both sides, we're going to get 6P. Add 40 to both sides, we'll get 142. So the price will equal 142 divided by 6, or $23.67. So the price that we solve for is $23.67. So the net price then paid by buyers are going to pay sellers this $23.67, but they're going to receive $2 subsidy from the government. That will leave buyers net with paying only $21.67 for the product. As for sellers are going to receive this $23.67 from buyers, but then the sellers have to submit a $4 tax to the government, leaving sellers with $19.67. An important point here is that a $4 tax on sellers and a $2 subsidy on buyers is equivalent to the following. It would be equivalent to a $4 tax on sellers and a $2 subsidy on sellers, which is just a net $2 tax on sellers. In other words, this problem could have been solved by placing a $2 tax on sellers, where this $2 tax represents the tax on sellers minus the subsidy to sellers. On the other hand, this problem is equivalent to a $4 tax on buyers and a $2 subsidy on buyers, which is equivalent to a net $2 tax on buyers. Again, this problem could have been solved by simply placing a $2 tax on buyers. It does not matter which side of the market is taxed or subsidized. The distribution effects, who pays the tax or who receives the subsidy, are determined by the relative elasticities of demand and supply. Okay, I'll stop here.